Okay, so I have confirmed with you guys that you are able to see me. All examination system and other things which we know regarding quiz, test and everything, now they have been changed, and also you know that we have now we will not have a prototype. So many of you actually asked me that whether you have to have a hardware. There are many things you can give us, in which one thing is some sort of simulations which you can do for Excel. So Microsoft Excel can be actually used. It's really difficult for me to actually to talk to the camera and thinking that you guys are sitting in front of me. But hopefully the lecture goes fine, and inshallah you will be able to understand. Now download and then study. So it will be very easy for you guys actually to download and study, but because it's a live lecture and we cannot make it too it. If you don't understand, you can send a live message on YouTube and also in WhatsApp, and I will answer them, but I will answer them in the end, not in the beginning. I hope that you guys are now ready and you are ready to go through the lecture. If the lecture goes well, then I will go for the next other lectures which we have missed. So tool in which we can do many things. So why we need actually Excel? So Excel is basically industry standard for spreadsheet applications in the government and also in the businesses. It is widely used for, like we are using now at home, for personal use, and we can also use, like you students, you can also use this. So let's go to the next. So Excel helps you to store, organize, manipulate data, and perform calculations. So as I told you already, that whenever we will have our data, like when we do a project, we have some data and we want to do some analysis on the data, or if we want to perform some sort of test, and also if you want to plot, I mean, if you have some data on x-axis and you have some data on y-axis and we want to perform it, how can we do that? So we will use Excel for that one, which is this one. Basically, we can present our results as graphical and as a statistical tool. And as I mentioned before, that Excel can be used for many other things, which I think you will learn with the time, but I will try to actually equip you with some of the knowledge by some examples here today, so that you can use it actually in your own project and present some data. And keeping in mind, remember that because now there is no prototype, so most of the emphasis are on simulations or data which you will be doing in your Excel and plotting something and showing something in a simulation form. This will be very important for you. Now, why actually we use Excel? So financial people personally or in finance, they use this to keep data. and also it improves your productivity and efficiency. Instead of doing with your hands, if you do this with Excel, it will be very productive, and it is also very powerful for advanced users. So we, at the moment, you students, I'm quite sure that many of you have already, they know already what is Excel. You have used it somewhere. And even if you have not used, we will not go into a very advanced level, but just the basics. So as I already said, that it is very simple and intuitive for the beginners. So it will also be, inshallah, very simple for you guys. And I'm quite sure that when we go through the whole presentation, things will be, inshallah, very good for you guys. So what is the Excel environment? Okay, when we go online, when we go in the software and we double click the software, this sort of window will be open depending on what sort of application you have. Version, I should say version. So what sort of version you have, based on that, this sort of screen will open. So for example, if you can see my cursor here, the top bar, this is the top bar. This is called a quick access tool, the top one, where you can access things very quickly. The next one, where you see file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data. This is actually ribbon with the tabs, which you can actually just click, and then down you can see the related items for each of these on the top. And the down one is also a bigger ribbon, which will actually show the data or options which will be related to the top one. Then you see here FX. This is basically, here is the formula. So in our today's lecture, you will see in the end there is one example which we will do, and hopefully, inshallah, you will see that how we put formulas here. So this is where we put our formulas. There are columns, also there are rows. When we click on a cell, this small part which you can see here, these small rectangles, they are basically called cells or borders. So this is wherever you will click, this is selected, and this is called as active cell. These are the row numbers. So for example, if you go back, you can see if say A6 mean you have this column here A, and then if you go down, it is 6. So this column is called A6. This basically cell is called A6, and vice versa. So if you have something, say F, and down somewhere here, it will be F10. Also, the Excel is basically in different sheets. So for example, this is called sheet number 1. You can actually rename it also. If you want to add more sheets, just plus, you add this plus bar and you will get sheets. You can have many sheets here, but for our main project, for example, which we'll do, we will just need one sheet for that one. And also, these are the cells, these are the columns. Then you have a formula here. You have these formulas where you can put your formula here. This will show your status. And if you look at the down bottom here, this is plus, and the other side is minus. So if you want to zoom it or zoom out, we can use this area here from plus and minus symbols. So this is the details. You can see actually this one after Excel 2007. So if you have a version, Excel version, which is above 2007, this is what you're going to see. And I'm quite sure that most of you will have a version which is higher than this. Now, from here, because when we have a tab or something ribbon like this, it becomes very easy for us to just click something and get the response, rather than you just go on the top, then just you have a like a drop down column, drop down menu, then you go and select, and it becomes a little difficult. But with this sort of ribbons, things become quite easy. I can see you in my live chat, and I can I hope that you can see me. If some of you or one of you can just send one message in the live chat in the YouTube, so that I can see, yes, you are understanding what I'm saying and things are smooth on your side. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Eddie, thank you very much. And you are hearing and seeing me, so I'm happy that it's going smooth. Okay. Now you can see that in the Home tab, we have fonts, we have conditional formatting, formats, table, styles, insert, delete sort of thing. Now in the same ribbon in the top bar, if you go and click insert, you can see here now, if you click insert, this insert is showing you another ribbon here. This ribbon has many things. Here we can basically put some illustrations. Here you can say, for example, you want to add a circle or a rectangle or some sort of illustration, you can put from here. You can insert table, also some pictures. For our today's exercise, you will see we will be inserting some charts, some XY plots, and hopefully, inshallah, you will be able to see how actually it works. So let's go it through quickly, because once we get to the example, I think you will be understanding it very nicely. Similarly, you can see the page layout. In the page layout, you can set the margins, we can set the orientation, we can set the size, we can also set the background, and what should be the, do we need the grid lines? If you look at here, do we really need grid lines? So the page layout is basically the layout of the Excel sheet and the page you are actually using. Then there is a formula tab. As I said, there are formulas and there are functions, and if you just go here, you can see there are many options here for the formula, and we will use some of this, especially the formula FX. There will be one formula in one of our today's example, inshallah. Now, data analysis. The data analysis contains button to import. We can import, we can sort, we can analyze, we can manipulate. There are many options here as well. Next, review. In the review, we can check the approve, we can protect, we can comment on our worksheets, and we can check the spellings. Somewhere if there's spelling mistakes, we can also protect. We can put a password. If you want somebody to open your sheet, but it cannot be open until you then provide a password, you can actually protect your sheet, you can protect your workbook. So there are many things from this ribbon. Then view. The view tab is mostly used to change how the worksheet appears on the screen. So how actually you want your worksheet to be appearing on the screen. And this one is basically, you can say either normal mean just a normal screen which you will open. Then page break or page break preview, grid lines, sort of thing. And I'm quite sure that until I open the software, probably this will be a little bit difficult for you to understand, especially for those who have never used Excel before. But I'm quite sure that most of you guys might have used this Excel before. Maybe not very advanced, but to the basic level, and hopefully here we will also go into some basics. And we are actually trying that this helps you while you are doing engineering design, not in the course, but also in future. Now, definitely you are not here. I cannot see you, but you know, I always ask this question when we deliver live in the classroom. So if I ask you, where are we right now? So I'm quite sure that most of you will actually know where we are. Yes, guys, do you know where we are in this drawing, in this engineering design model, or the whole cycle which we actually discussed in almost every lecture that where we are. So I go back to the slides, and I hope that you know, and let me tell you where we are. So if we actually go here, so this is where we do in the preliminary design, where we, yes, not up top, somebody says it's up top. If the video is freezing or something, please keep watching, it will come back again, I am quite sure. Please don't worry, it will be back. And this is also recorded, so if you miss some part, it will be available later on also. So please do not worry, if there is something happens, we will be able to provide you with the recorded lecture, and you can also ask me on WhatsApp and other methods which we use. So here we are actually in the preliminary design, model and analyze chosen design, and also here when we do the detailed designing. So wherever we are doing the analysis of or model or some sort of simulation, I won't say, because not 100% simulation, but some sort of modeling, we will use Excel for this. Some people are saying the video is being a little bit freezing. So can somebody say yes or no? Is it going well? Are you watching it and the video is okay? And from my side, it's live and it's okay. Maybe some internet issues on your side. So, but please bear with me. It will come. Even if it's freeze, just wait, reload, and it will come. And the video will also be available as a recorded one. So inshallah, there will be no problem. Okay, great. I can say it's okay. Yes, yes, it's going well. Thank you. Thank you. Really, I'm missing you, my students. I'm really missing you. I'm not seeing you live. When I see you in front of me, I feel good. But anyway, inshallah, soon we will meet. Okay, so as I said, the original presentation, which is available online, the original presentation which is available online is a quite long one. It describes actually a lot of details. And you can actually go through all this. If you don't understand anything, I will be inshallah able to make sure that you understand this. And this will be the same with other lectures, because if you look at the slides and the lectures, it is easy for us to deliver in 2 hours. But now here, it's difficult for me to have a recording for 2 hours with memory issues and also. So what I have done is that I have kept it very short for you and tried to explain you. If you still don't understand, inshallah, you can ask me a question, and we can have another session, inshallah, either YouTube or some in the WhatsApp or somewhere, and I will try to, inshallah, respond to your questions. So back to our example. Now, most of you know what is a windmill, right? You can see here a windmill. Windmill actually is a source of producing power. So the renewable energy, Vision 2030 now, there is focus on the renewable energy, which includes solar, and also, the windmill thing. And they are actually very cheap energy. So our today's example or question, or basically if you are in the classroom, probably you will be doing it. But now actually I will do for you, and there is another example in the end which I will suggest you to do for yourself for your own practice. So we have to actually, there is a problem statement related to this wind turbine. I just put a picture here so that you can actually understand what is a wind turbine. And then I will read the problem statement. Then there are some questions and formulas, and we have to do some plotting. So let's go ahead. Now, this is a windmill or wind turbine, and here is okay, let's go a little bit back. So non-renewable resources such as coal and natural gas are the main source of energy for many parts of the world. However, these energy resources are harmful to the environment and supplies are limited. Resources such as wind possess great potential because they are renewable and non-polluting. The client is the Saudi Ministry of Water and Electricity. You know that triangle, the client, the user, and the designer. So suppose a client comes to you and you are the designers, you are the engineers, and you have to design this windmill, this turbine. So here are some of the criteria, okay, which you have to follow. So selection of suitable locations for wind farms in Saudi Arabia. So first of all, in Saudi Arabia, if you are asked to put wind turbines, where will you put them? So we know a wind turbine basically is good where there is some sort of wind, where there is some sort of power, wind power. If there is no wind, then if you put a wind turbine there, the blades will not rotate. Then what type of wind turbine power you want to use? How many watt, megawatt, kilowatt? What should be the specifications for the turbine power? Then the blades, those three, the dimension, but the dimensions, and also you are required. So now we will be actually using the Excel, this Excel which I just described to you, and we will solve a small problem. And I am hopeful that after we solve this, you will be quite happy and you will be quite, understanding that if there is some sort of the same sort of problem within your project, the current project, you can use Excel and define some formulas. And then based on this, you can analyze the data and produce some results and then put in your final report. So here is the formula. So the power of a wind turbine can be calculated by this formula. And this formula is for you guys. You should not think why and where, how this formula came up. This formula is given to you, where power is equal to 0.5 multiplied by pi, the pi which is 3.14, multiplied by the velocity cube, multiplied by radius square, multiplied by Cp, multiplied by efficiency, multiplied by density. Now you must be wondering, where are these values? How can we get those? Let's go here. So the velocity for Jeddah, they say, for example, the value is given to you, that's 3.5. So this is the value of velocity, average air velocity. The other value which is provided, the turbine radius, how long is the turbine. So it is called R, the radius is given up, and it is going from 1 to 5.5 with the increment of 0.5. That means the first is 1, then 1.5, then 2, then 2.5, then 3, then 3.5, then 4, then 4.5, and so you can go until 5.5. And there are two cases here for Cp. Cp, some sort of a value in the given in the wind turbine. And for the first case, the Cp value is 0.3, and for the second case, the Cp value is 0.56. Now, and the efficiency is 0.8, and the density, the last value you can see, is 1.22 kilogram per meter cube. So these are the values are given, and we are given with the equation, the formula. Now, let me go into the Excel and show you how we have to do it. So, whenever you put this data, so the first data which we have is the radius. Here is the radius. Then two powers, one power for Cp, which is 0.3, and another power which is Cp 0.56. There are two cases for us here. Okay, guys, how many of you are seeing some sort of lag? If there is a lag, please just ignore. Yes, guys, somebody can write in the live chat. Is it okay? So that I can go ahead with the solution. Hello? Okay, thank you. Okay, so if we have a, okay, thank you very much. So please just bear with me. So you can see that I have put radius, and then I have put power, one power for the CP value 0.3, and another power for CP value 0.6. Now we know that the question said that the radius of the wing, the wings of the wind turbine, one, the fan, the wings are actually changing by the increment of 0.5, and now we have CP 0.3 and CP 0.56. So now you must be wondering how I got these equations here. So let me tell you how I got it. So if I go here, and this is one of the cells, if I go here and I click here, if you can go up here and see, the formula is given here. I put in equal, then 0.5, then multiply by pi. In Excel, we write pi, and then parenthesis, we close, it will become pi, then multiply by 3.5, and then it will be cubed. We know the 3.5 multiply of the cube here, the velocity 3.5, and then I put that cube. Then the radius, the square of the radius. So radius is actually in this. We know the radius here. You can see 8. It is basically D8. This cell is D8. So we know that radius is 1, which is in D8. So I put D8 and then I square it here. You can see it is squared here on the top. Then multiply by 0.3, which is the first case. The CP is 0.3, and then 0.8 and 1.22. And when I enter, I get this value here. Once I get this value, I can let me actually delete these other values. Now you can see that if I go here and I just take it from this side, hold and drag down, you will see the rest of the values it will automatically take, because for this value D, instead of D8 it will become D10. You can see here D10, and it is showing it here. You see D10. So the value of the radius will change, the CP will not change, and so let me go outside here somewhere and escape. And you can see here that it is always taking the value from the radius side from here, and then it is putting here, and with this formula it is basically calculating the value. So you see, if I go down, D8 become D9, then D10, 11, 12. So it is taking the value from this side and then multiplying it and giving you these answers. The same thing I have done here. If you go here, it's exactly the same. This is actually F8 here, this value. And if we, what I have done here is that instead of 0.3, I have put 0.56. So you can see here is 0.56. And the rest value is same, D8 here. You can see from here it is taking the same radius value. And then by multiplying, we get this value. And then from here, if I go and just click here and drag it down, it will give you all the same values. Now we have got these values here. Now the next step is very important, and the next step is that we have to actually plot it and see on a plot how does it look. So what I will do to plot, this will be my x-axis, this one, and the other two will be on my y-axis, that the power. So the radius is on x-axis and the power will be on y-axis. So I select it, then I go into insert. And from insert, you can go into the scatter. Here is the scatter. In the scatter, you see down this smooth lines plot, and then you just click.